Redline Logbook here for Wistoria chapter 58, and we start where we left off with Will and Liana learning about Baal, and neither is taking it well. The idea that this monster is the key to the barrier that's protecting them from the other Celestials, that's a truth that they clearly were not ready to hear. As the two are freaking out, that's when blood begins to leak from both their noses and eyes. The reason why this is happening is because the very blood of humanity is rejecting this thing's existence. Will and Liana begin to realize this is why 500 years ago the world almost came to an end. Why the people who are at the top of the tower of the Magivanda fear the destruction of the barrier, because if there's an entire army of these things that exist beyond the barrier, the world really will end. This creature is the embodiment of the end. Just experiencing his blood curdling and bleeding out from his eyes and nose makes Charles even more excited because he can see it, he can feel it now. This really is the end of the world, and he begins to unlock Baal. Will, of course, begs him to stop because, once again, he now can feel this really is the end of the world as well. Charles then removes one of the wands from its body, but before he can remove the rest of the seal that's on Baal, the Celestial's blood splurts all over him. Charles starts to scream in complete agony as his body begins to bulge and pulsate in all directions and inflates to an enormous size. It actually looks like he's about to explode, but instead, what happens is he transforms into a monster. This creature that looks like its body's made of vines, its head is a flower, and the mind of Charles is gone. What's left is nothing more than a rampaging beast. And if the barrier ever does shatter and the Celestials do ascend from the heavens, that would mean that they wouldn't just have to fight the Celestials, they would have to fight their fellow man that are being transformed into monsters. The Witch Queen, Finn, and all of them who were around 500 years ago who fought against these things, they must have been built different, because how the hell did they survive against this? Will, because he still sees this as Charles, tries to communicate with him, but he almost gets killed instantly. If Liana wasn't there to save him and talk reason into him, Will probably would have died at this moment. But the two accept the fact that this is no longer Charles, this is no longer a mage, this is a monster. As Will is fighting this thing, he realizes something. He's fought plenty of monsters for years now, but unlike all the others, this thing in front of him, the very sight of it makes him feel revulsion. Just as it was for Baal, every aspect of his blood is telling him that this thing is evil and must be destroyed. He's rejecting it completely. That's not how he felt with the other monsters. They were just mindless beasts that he killed. This thing is inherently the enemy of man. I feel like the dungeon might have been created by the Witch Queen, and all the monsters in it aren't the ones created by the Celestials, but it was created by the Witch Queen herself to basically train the next generation for centuries to come, to get them ready for the real monsters that are coming. Because this celestial monster is on a whole nother level to the ones in the dungeon. As they've proven out multiple times, Will and Liana's teamwork is the best. These two are always in sync with each other because they're both close combat fighters, and they're able to rip this thing apart pretty easily. In fact, they even destroy one of its arms. But, like I said, this is not like the dungeon monsters. This thing can regenerate instantly. They basically ripped it in half and put holes throughout its entire body, and yet it was instantly just healed. And what happens next is even more absurd. At that very moment, it uses magic. Yes, a monster uses magic. It's Charles's darkness magic, and it does it without a single chant, not saying a single word. It can just cast powerful magic at will. And not just that, its magic isn't just chantless, it's more powerful than Charles's magic was. It was a high-grade spell that it was able to launch off at that moment. A mage would require a long casting spell to do something like that, but it just did it just by screaming. As you come to the realization that if this thing escapes from the tower, it has the power to destroy the world. And once again, this isn't even a Celestial. This is just Charles transformed into a monster by the blood of a Celestial. Just imagine what Baal could do if he was fully released. Just imagine what would happen if the Celestials of the heavens all came down. To say the whole world would become nothingness would be an understatement. Alright, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you can enjoy more Wistoria and other many things. Thank you and have a great day.